Hi there. Right, so what I'm going to make today is a bracelet similar to this. It's a Shamballa style bracelet, and there's a few people I'm waiting to come along who wanted to watch it, so I won't start just yet. If anybody's been in the shop, then you may have received one of these instruction leaflets while you were here. So this is basically that. So I'm working through it as if I was working through one of my instruction leaflets. So this was, I think, all through June. All through June you got that free. So there should be a few people who've got them. So obviously, if you've got them already and you used them, then do let me know how you've gone on with that. So just a few. Thanks for those of you who joined already. Just give me a few minutes just for everyone else to join in. Just got a handful. Once I see the names pop up, then I'll know we can get started. Right, so that's the bracelet style that I'm going to make, but I'm going to use these square glass beads and these colours here, and I'll just show you the style of the other colours that we've got. So all sorts of glass beads you can use, and they come in packs like that or reeled like this. With these ones, it's 65p, and you get a few different colours, whereas this one you're buying a big reel of it. So one of these is good to make these bracelets because you can make quite a few, and you've got quite a different range of colours that you can use. And I'll just give it 2 more minutes, then we'll get going. Okay, alright, so we'll start. If you want to share this with anybody, feel free to share away. If you know anybody who would be interested in making this, then share away. Alright, so what I've done here, usually just use one colour, but I've got 2 different colours here, so I've used one colour for my base and one colour for the top knotting, and I've done that. One, it looks nice, but 2, it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So it's just really, it's good visually, but also it looks nice when you're wearing it. Makes it a little bit different. So the colour that I'm going to put underneath is, which one did I decide? Oh yeah, I'm going to put this one as my base colour. So you're not going to see much of that. That's going to be where the grey is there. And then the purple one is going to be my top colour. Simply because I'm using clear beads, I want a dark colour to be next to it. So I'm going to cut off slightly more than my instructions say. Simply because in the instructions I've put what you'd need with a little bit extra, but I'm going to put a little bit more extra for this display just so that I've got lots of thread to be working with and it's easy for you to see. So I'm going to cut off 40 centimetres of this, which is, if you're an inches person, and I'll tell you what that is in inches, give me a moment. So 40 would be just under 16 inches, so if you're an inches person, then it's 16 inches or 40 centimetres. So that's my base colour there. So it tells you all there, cutting off 40 centimetres, and then we're going to start building up this bit here now. And I'm using, this is one of our little tubs from in the shop, and I'm going to use these grips. If you don't have clamps. These are £1 for 2, but if you don't have these, you can use something like clothes pegs. But this just grips it a little bit better because it's got the rubber on the end there. So if you leave about 4 to 5 inches, which is about 12 centimetres at the end, then that's going to hang just over the edge. And I'm going to just clip it just there, and that grips it and locks it in. So if you're using a peg, this could slide out, so you might have to wrap it around, but if you're using one of these clamps, then it's going to grip quite nicely because it's got the rubber on there. And then this end, I want to grip this just there, so that just holds that nice and tight. It's only so that when I'm working, it's a lot easier when I'm working with it. Now these are the beads, some little square beads here. So these are roughly 5mm squares. I'm going to place those in here, only so that when I'm working you can see what we're doing. Now the next bit is to cut off the thread that's going to create those knots there. So in the pack I tell you to cut off 90 centimetres, and 90 centimetres should be more than enough because it's just under a metre. I've cut off 60 centimetres for that, and I still had some left over to snip off that sort of length, which is, it fits on my wrist to there and would fit a child quite easily. So if you go for 90, if you've got a larger wrist or you want to make sure you've got lots of extra thread, then you can cut off a metre. So measure yourself out 90 centimetres, which is about just over 35 inches. Okay, so it's snip. So this cotton that I'm using, it's mercerised cotton, and what it is, it's basically cotton, but what they've done is it's been treated, had a treatment done to it so that it's a little bit sturdy and it doesn't stretch when it gets wet. It doesn't alter as much as it would if it's just pure cotton with no treatment to it. So I've got the thread, 90 centimetres, fold it in half so that I can get my centre point there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place that under the thread. I'm going to lay the strands out either side, one to the left, one to the right. I'm going to show you the image just so you can see. So that's underneath there. Yeah, you can see. And that is that bit there. Now I've missed a little step here, just going to show you that bit there. So I'm going to go back and put the beads on. When you're working, you can put the beads on first, but because it's only fastened on here, you can put it on at whichever point you like. So I'm going to now place the beads on, which you can do before or after. So my thread's staying there, and I'm going to thread my beads on. It's better to thread more beads than you plan on using, and then you can always pull some off if you need it, because you haven't tied a knot anywhere. It doesn't matter if you put too many on, but it's better to have more and to know you've got enough beads to actually finish the bracelet. You can slide in it any ones off that you're not using. So you're just going to thread them all on. If you're using a 10mm bead, you could get away with using about 7 beads, but these are 5, so I'm going to thread on about maybe 14, 15, and I can take off anything that I don't use. Now this cotton, you can use a beading needle to seal it, to thread it through your beads, or you can put some of this glue on the end there. So you place it on and you just rub it, and also make sure that you wash your hands afterwards because it will be very sticky. So you can use gloves if you want to. Just rub it and pull up like that, and it'll seal all the fibres in and sleep for a few minutes. You can heat the end, but I wouldn't advise you to do that on here because obviously it's a bit of a hazard. So I'm threading these on now. Anybody got any questions? I'm going to try and get it to focus in. It just seems to be out of focus. Oh, there we go. That a little bit better. Like I say, feel free to share this video. I don't know, there must be I think there's a button somewhere where you can share. But yeah, if you know anybody who wants to watch, who's into crafting, click share. I think you can share it to your page, or you can just share it to them, as I think as an inbox or on their page. That's what we've got so far. Got 10 on, so another 5 and I'll be done. Okay, alright, so I've got 5, 10, 15. So I've got 15 on there. I'm probably not going to use all those 15, but I've put them on there just ready. So I've got it clamped up at the top. I'm going to clamp it back down here at the bottom. There, and these 2 beads I'm going to leave in there because they're going to be used at the very end. Okay, so we've got step 1 done, cut off our thread, step 2 done, threaded our beads on, obviously 7 there, but I'm putting 14 on because they're smaller, and I'm just going to put this thread back under as we were going. So step 3, I'm going to fold this thread in half, 90 centimetres of it, fold it in half, then place it underneath. I'm going to pull up like that just so that it goes exactly halfway, or thereabouts. If it's not exactly, it doesn't matter. Now, this bit, you want to try and start this bit as close to your clamp as possible. And if you find that your thread, because I'm on the sort of like halfway off of my worktop at the minute, so this thread is sliding down a bit as I let go of it, so I'm just going to push it down as gently as I can. There we go. As it was going into the worktop, it was sliding down. Okay, so I've got the thread now underneath. So just laying underneath like that. So our second thread. Now, this step here, it says, so you're going to fold the left thread over the top. So this is the left thread. I'm just going to lay it over the top. So if you see, that's going under, and the left thread is going over. So end up with a little loop at this side. I'm going to place a loop there just so you can see it, that first one. So we've got a little loop there. Now, next we're going to do that there. So the right thread's going to go over the top and then up through that left hand loop that you just created. So over the top. Oh, I do apologise, that's my phone. Right, so I'm going to go over the top, then up through here, so I'm going to go over, down at the bottom, and I'm going to pull this up through there. So I'll pull this one, keep hold of the right hand thread and pull this new left hand thread tight. And then before you actually close off that knot altogether, just check again that your ends are balanced, and if they're not, you can rectify that now. So what I do is I'll pull both ends together like so, and then I pull up like that, gripping with my left hand, pulling with my right hand, or if you're left-handed, obviously do it the opposite way. And then if that knot tightens when you don't want it to, if it's not quite in the middle, just loosen it off and then pull the side that's actually not long enough. There we go. So that knot is more or less, it doesn't have to be exact. If it's out by a few centimetres, it's not gonna affect it too much. There's that knot there. It's almost in the middle. And that's your first one done. And you're going to place that as close to the clamp as possible and just pull that really tight. So we've done that one. We've done that, and now we're going to do this now. So before we went, the left thread looped over to the right. Now we're going to do right thread loops over to the left. So I've got a little loop there. So these beads can stay down there. We don't need to worry about these beads for now. And then this thread is going to go over, yeah, down into your little basket, and then it's going to come up through. Let's get that there, up through this little loop. Just going to keep that there just so you can see. There we go. So it's going to come up through this little loop here, and then you're going to take both strands and pull. Because you've got this one centering it now, you don't have to worry about balancing it, so just pull until it goes up and nice and tight. So we've done left, we've done right, now we're going to do left. So you're just alternating left, right. So left thread over to the right. If you get it mixed up and forget and go right twice, don't worry too much. But you'll notice if you're doing right every time, because this little knot, instead of it being a straight sort of, let's see if I can, let me find my image of it there. Instead of it being like a straight section with little lumps down the side and like spine type stripes through the middle, it'd be twisted like the old friendship knotting bracelets that you'd do. It'd twist around if you were doing it too much, you know, too many sort of like the same side knots. So it's alternate, left, right. So now we're going left thread over to the right, and the right thread is going to come over, down into your little basket, let it drop in there. I'm going to hold that just so you can see, and then we're going to go, put your fingers through this little loop, and you're going to take hold of that thread, and then pull up like that, get it through, and then tie a knot. So we did left, right, left. Now one more right. So the right hand thread goes over. Any questions, just ask. But this is going to be repeating all the way through. So once you've learnt this little step, that's it all the way through. So if you keep watching, if you don't get it first time, just keep watching and you'll get it. So the left thread, drop that down into your basket. Fingers through the right hand loop, and then I'm going to catch hold, pull it up through, and then I'm going to pull that tight there. Right, so there I've got, you can see, if you can see if it'll focus it, there you go, can you see? So we've got like a little spine of knots there. We're going to slide one of these beads up like that. So I've not done it with square beads before, so we'll see what happens. So fingers crossed it'll still work out as it normally does. So now I'm going to do right thread over to the left. Now it doesn't matter if you start with left or right if you start in a new section, as long as you're doing left alternate sections, alternate knots on each little spine section. So I'm doing right over left, then I'm going to drop my left over right, left to the right, then I've got my right hand thread, I'm going to drop it in the basket so it's going over that thread there. I'm going to pop my fingers through the left hand side, and I'm going to catch hold of that thread, pull it up through, and then we're going to start creating our new section of a knot. Let's get our square, there we go. Oh look, that's going to work out just nice. So it's going to sit either side like that, how lovely. Right, so that's that one. So we did left over right, now we're doing right over left. So right loop, get that up there so you can see. Yeah, so right loop, and then your left hand thread is going to go over, and then down into the left hand side. Put your hand through the right hand loop, catch hold, pull that up through, and then creating our second knot. And now, yeah, so, and then left over right. If I go wrong at all, feel free to let me know if I end up doing two rights. So left over right, right hand thread, down, drop it into your little basket, fingers through the left hand side, catch hold and pull up. And then a knot. Right hand. Oh! Right, I'm going to just put this on hold and I'll be back within a few minutes.